Phones these days are getting extremely expensive. It's not uncommon for people to pay £40 to £50 per month for the latest iPhone, depending on the model chosen, and the same phone will easily cost £1,000 or more if you decide to pay up front. Some networks have even started offering 48-month contracts on some phones because they've gotten so expensive. In this video, we've explained 5 ways you can save money if you're looking for a new phone, to make the shopping process a bit more bearable. Before we begin, if you want to find a cheap phone or SIM-only plan, you can use greensmartphones.com. We compare the cheapest deals on a range of phones and SIM plans, and sort them by the lowest monthly cost. You can also use the filters on the left to exclude any deals with more data than you need, or deals on networks you don't want to use. Let's begin. The best way to save money when shopping for a new phone is often to choose a refurbished model. In the UK, we're quite lucky to have a strong second-hand phone market. When people upgrade to the latest phone, they tend to trade in their old device. Normally, this handset is then inspected, tested, and repaired if necessary, and then sold with a warranty, almost as good as new. As long as you shop for a reasonably new phone, and buy from a reputable seller, getting a refurbished handset can be a great way to save money. On greensmartphones.com, you can use the refurbished phone option to only display these types of deals, and see what their prices are like. Just use the filters on the left, and select the refurbished phone checkbox. One thing to note is, if the phone is more than 3 years old, it might not be in perfect condition if you buy a refurbished one. Older refurbished phones will have different grades, depending on their condition. It's best to buy a fairly recent phone if you want something in near perfect condition, with a really good battery life still. If you're buying a phone on a contract, it's nearly always cheaper to choose a virtual operator. Mobile virtual network operators, or MVNOs, are companies that buy data in bulk from the big 4 networks. This allows them to sell cheaper data plans, and some of them have cheap phones on a contract as well. The big 4 networks have become quite expensive recently. You'll likely find that MVNOs like giffgaff, ID Mobile, and Tesco Mobile offer better prices. They also have a bigger range of SIM plans, including pay-as-you-go options and pay monthly contracts. Just make sure that the network has good coverage where you live before buying. On Green Smartphones, you can click more details under a given deal to find the provider's coverage map. Simply go to their website, put in your postcode, and look for good 4G and 5G signal in your area to ensure you'll get good mobile speeds with the phone contract you're buying. When shopping for a new phone, many people just buy the latest Apple or Samsung device. However, there's now a much bigger range of good quality devices on the market, some of which are much cheaper. If you do your research and consider the whole range of handsets on the market, you might be able to save quite a lot of money. For example, Samsung has a huge range of A-series phones, which are a lot cheaper than their S or Z series models. To get an idea, you can go to greensmartphones.com, click Samsung, and scroll through the list of phones. There's also a range of smaller mobile manufacturers that offer cheaper devices, which you might like to consider. For example, Motorola and Xiaomi can be very price competitive. Even Google's cheaper Pixel models can be worth considering if you're on a budget. For most people, you probably don't need a really expensive phone, unless you often play games or watch movies, or take a lot of pictures. It can be worth paying more for a phone with a higher refresh rate though. This will make the screen feel a lot more responsive when doing regular activities like scrolling or swiping. Some of Samsung's cheaper A-series phones have a 90Hz refresh rate, which will feel a lot smoother than 60Hz. When buying a new phone on a contract, the device itself will be the main thing that affects the price. However, you can also save money by choosing a contract with a lower data limit. To find out how much data you use, you can go into your phone's settings. If you search for data or data usage, you should be able to find a breakdown of how much data you're using each month. If you're paying for 100GB for example, but normally only use 10 to 20, you should be able to save a bit of money on your next phone contract. If your phone is quite old, you might think that it's not worth selling or trading in when you upgrade the device. However, old phones can sometimes be more valuable than you might think. Even if your current handset is really old, it's still possible that you can get £50 or more for it, helping you to save money on your next device. And if you don't want to go through the hassle of a trade-in, or your trade-in won't be accepted, there are other companies that will buy your old phone from you. If your phone is less than 10 years old, it's definitely worth going to a website like Music Magpie and seeing what price they'd offer for it. All you need to do is select the phone you have, and the website will show a price that they'll offer for it. Then, you can ship the phone to them and have the money deposited in your bank account, helping to offset the cost of a new device. Most often, choosing a refurbished phone is the best way to save money when shopping for a new handset. While it might seem a bit unusual to buy a second-hand phone, if you shop with a reputable seller like Carphone Warehouse, there shouldn't be any issues, and you'll get a warranty. To find the cheapest refurbished phone deals, as well as new handset plans, remember to use greensmartphones.com. You can use the filters on the left to determine what condition of phones you want to see. And if you have any questions about buying a new phone, leave a comment below and we'll help out.